The Dallas Cowboys had a 2-touchdown lead over Jacksonville at the halftime break. But just like in Green Bay a few weeks ago, the Jaguars slowly crept back in. And while it's normally the Dallas defense putting the game away, it was a pick six from Jacksonville that sealed the deal. Dallas falls 40-34 on the road and falls to 10-4 on the season. I'm Haley Sutton here on Cowboys Flashback to tell you exactly what happened in that loss. Now, unlike games past, the Cowboys started fast, taking a 21-7 lead into the halftime break. However, Trevor Lawrence found a way to keep his team in the game behind a 3-touchdown performance from Zay Jones. Dak Prescott with another 2-interception game, the latter of which cost the game. A frustrating finish for the team, and now head coach Mike McCarthy is frustrated as well.
We knew coming in here they were playing extremely well. We identified it all week. I thought the players had a good week of preparation. That's a talented team, and I think Doug does an excellent job. The numbers, and the things that we didn't do so well, but it was knockdowns. You could just feel the game the way it was going, and that's, particularly when we kicked the 2 field goals, we just needed to keep getting touchdowns. We had a number of injuries on defense. I really felt our young guys did a hell of a job stepping in there, because we had a lot of guys going in and out. So definitely disappointed, and it just as I told them in the locker room, when you look at this game in Green Bay, you lose 2 overtime games, but we've put a tremendous amount of work into end-of-game situations in this phase, in this situation. And I'm just a huge believer you just got to keep working, stay after it. They know the investment that they've made really the last 2 years. After my first year, that's, clearly was something that we need to improve on. And I'm disappointed, but in the same breath, we got a crazy schedule here. Not crazy. We got a different schedule we're dealing with, and so we'll take a look at it here on the buses, on the planes, and when we touch down, we got to turn the page.
Mike, Newy Scruggs, NBC5 Dallas. Can you take me through the thought process when you threw deep and Noah Brown ended up stopping the clock and they did not have to use a timeout?
Well, they had a timeout there, so the decision there is, offensively, you play it conservative and run the ball to take the time off or you try to end the game. So it's a pretty simple decision, and when it converts, it's a great call. When it doesn't, you get criticized for it.
Cal.
Sorry, Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning. How concerned with your secondary right now?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm concerned. I'm more concerned with the health of our team. We've had a rough stretch here the last 3 games. We've lost a number of starters, but our guys are jumping in there, and the things I pay close attention to is the communication and the interaction, and Dan was able to still have enough calls to stay competitive. We're in a bunch of situational calls during the fourth quarter and so forth, and have your young guys in there on that. So, that shows that where they are in their development. But let's be honest, we've had a little bit of an injury cycle here. This is for our 3rd game in a row, and hopefully this is we come out of this. We'll see how when we get back. So, and then obviously we got one here on Saturday coming up quickly.
As I mentioned, 2 picks for Prescott in a game where he also threw for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns. He finished the afternoon 23 of 30. We'll hear from QB1 when we return on Cowboys Flashback.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, an NRG company. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dak Prescott was clearly not happy last week when he was asked about his interceptions, but he vowed to get things cleaned up. Yesterday, however, he had 2 more picks, bringing his season total to 11 interceptions through 9 games played. Now, while all the blame can't be placed on Prescott, should the pattern of giving the ball away be a concern for this team going forward? Dak addressed that question and more after the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tough spot, especially when the third quarter this season has been where we've come out. We've come out hot after making adjustments. And so for tonight, that'd be to be our lull and obviously have the turnover and have some stall outs, some 3-and-outs, and don't get it going. It's tough, but it's hard for me to give you that answer right now. Haven't watched film. Got to go back and do that and go from there.
Ed Werder, ESPN. Dak, you talked all week about eliminating the interception, how frustrated you were by him. How much you feel now, given the consequences of the last?
Yeah, I mean, frustration grows, obviously. To end the game on a pick six, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's frustrating. And not only that, as I said, the first one, yeah, I mean, I just got to not even try to throw the ball right there. Feel the guy grab me and just tuck the ball and take the sack and just move on to the next play. And that's that balance. And obviously, I'll learn from it and tuck it next time. So it's tough. It's tough treading that line, trying to make a play, trying to be aggressive, and at the same time, not putting the ball at risk. So, yeah.
Calvin Watkins, in the regulation and third down, just your thought process of what you saw there on that incompletion down the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, it was a one-on-one. Obviously, we had a crossing route with CD. They put 2 to 3 guys on him, and 31 was pretty much just off the whole time, and I just tried to throw it deep and give Noah a chance.
Got it.
Dak, Todd Archer, ESPN. Does this change at all feelings going into Philadelphia week, or how does it alter it?
Honestly, it doesn't. Obviously, it sucks losing to start there, but if we had won that game right there on the field goal, I don't think that necessarily changes the low in the third quarter, the bad things that happened in this game. Yeah, so we've got to move on, just like any other week. I mean, it's not like I don't know what happened with Philly. I'm guessing they won. Yeah, so I mean, it's not like that puts us in a better position or not. So it's about, at this point, building, trying to get better, trying to clean up our mistakes, learn from our mistakes, and make sure that we're just carrying momentum heading into week after week as we move forward to get into this postseason.
Now, the passing game wasn't all bad. It was a career day for Noah Brown, who recorded his first ever multi-score game. 2 touchdowns to go along with 49 yards on 6 receptions. Meanwhile, CeeDee Lamb became the first Cowboys receiver to reach 1,000 yards through 14 games since Amari Cooper did it back in 2019. He also tallied his 3rd 100-yard game of the season and the 8th of his career, finishing with 126 yards on 7 catches. However, he was held scoreless yesterday.
No, we just lost. Should have pulled it off in the overtime. I mean, we had the opportunity, we just didn't capitalize.
Can you hold on to this feeling and use it in a productive way in the big picture?
I mean, I guess you can say that. At the end of the day, like I said, we got to take every week, serious. It's December football. Everybody's going to give us their best shot, and we know that, and we just got to capitalize.
On a 27-10 where you were in the second half, was this one of the more surprising outcomes for you this season based on where you were and how the game was going?
Where I was or the team?
Where the team was.
Oh, yeah, most def. Unfortunately, we lost the lead and we lost the game. So, like I said, I feel like we gotta just be more consistent. Just put the game away when we have the opportunity and not really let the opposing team get the benefit of the doubt or any type of momentum. Because obviously we know how big the momentum is in the NFL, and then with momentum you lose time. So
on a day where Dak has almost 600 yards and 8 touchdowns, who do you see hit or hit on a pick six? What's that like?
I mean, obviously that's not how it's supposed to go. But the guy just made a great play, I guess. I felt like we could have capitalized on the play. Just in general, we could have played better. Overall, we had a great offensive day, great defensive day, if you will, but we just gotta put a couple pieces together.
Lamb's 8 100-yard games are now tied with Drew Pearson for the 2nd most by a Cowboys player in his first 3 seasons. Dallas also showed they were willing to lean on the run game at times, with the 1-2 punch coming in clutch in crucial moments, but ultimately it wasn't enough. When we return on Cowboys Flashback, we'll hear from the ground game on the loss.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Ezekiel Elliott set the tone on the first possession with 5 carries for 30 yards and the opening touchdown for the Cowboys. His 7th straight game with a rushing score. While there were moments of brilliance for the back, the offense just couldn't find a consistent groove down the stretch. After the game, Zeke weighed in on the conversation, sharing what he thought could have been better from his side of the ball.
Were you guys surprised you guys didn't run the ball on that final third down in regulation?
I mean, it's easy to look back and say, should have ran it, you know what I mean? But, I mean, we all pros. I believe in the judgment of coach. I believe in the judgment of Kellen. And, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
It's reminiscent of Green Bay for you guys. Another on the road game that dominated you.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I say, you can see the similarities there. But, I mean, I just think, as an offense, we got to figure out a way to close that game out. 4-minute offense, we've been running the ball well all year. I think we just got to, buckle up in crunch time and end that game right there.
How would you describe this feeling right now? I mean, the locker room's just dead quiet. It seems like you guys are pretty stunned.
Guys are stunned. Guys are definitely upset. But, we got to use this, grow from it. Got a lot of football left. Use this, grow from it, and just become a better football team.
How do you hold on to this feeling and make it productive in the long run?
Just remember how it feels. Remember how it feels to go and not get the job done, and just use it to fuel the fire. I'm sure, this we'll be coming out, ready to go and get things right.
The second part of that 1-2 punch also showing out yesterday. Tony Pollard had 75 yards on the ground on 19 carries. He was averaging nearly 4 yards each time. He also had 31 yards through the air. So lots to look at this week as the Cowboys prepare for the matchup that's been circled for weeks when the Philadelphia Eagles roll into town. It'll be another challenge for a Dallas defense that's been depleted over the last few weeks. We'll talk about that side of the ball on the other side of the break here on Cowboys Flashback.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Where's the pass rush? That's been the question for the last 2 weeks as the NFL's leading pass defense has been stymied over the last 2 games. Micah Parsons with the lone sack on Trevor Lawrence yesterday, also contributing 2 quarterback hurries, a tackle for loss, and a fumble recovery. Despite his performance in a week where you knew it would be high scoring, the defense just couldn't get a stop when they needed one, allowing a season-high 40 points. Parsons explains why the defense struggled on Sunday.
I mean, I gotta go look at it. We can't point the blame. I mean, it's an everybody thing. It's 11 people out there. So, obviously, we got to do something different and go get better from it. That one's, everything can't be perfect. Everything can't be, but you strive for that type of execution. And giving up 34 is not execution, so we got to get better.
1 sack in the last 2 games, I think, as a team, versus you guys were leading the league prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
What are offensive lines doing something different in pass pro against y'all that's causing that?
I mean, like I said, we're not getting traditional looks. Obviously, way more chips. Balls coming out way faster. There's not a lot of drop back, more play action. Boot passes that's being thrown on. If they are, they're quicker passes. So obviously, it's a lot more quick game against us than if you were to look at any other game where there's more drop back, more things like that. So I mean, it's tough, but I mean, if you look at the film, we're getting different game plans. So we got to expect that and change our game plan.
Run defense, you guys have shown some improvement there in recent games. What would you make of seem to be a step back today?
We got to get back to the basics. We can't afford to get complacent this time of year. We got to come out and own our gaps, do everything we need to do right, and tackle better. We got to tackle. A lot of missed tackles. But one thing about it, I'm not the type to come up here and make no excuses. I just say we just got to get better. No excuse mentality. We got to fix our F-ups and, just go from there.
Lawrence proved to be a problem for the Dallas defense, finishing the afternoon throwing for 318 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Cowboys continue to battle through injuries with that next man up mentality, particularly relevant in the secondary. With no Anthony Brown or Jordan Lewis, the team has been relying on the young players to make an impact. Trayvon Diggs continues to be one of the leaders on the field for the secondary and hopes to continue improving this week.
Yeah, it's football, you know. Things gonna happen, you know, but everybody got to be ready. You know, everybody got to be, you know, held responsible for, you know, just getting in the game, knowing what they're supposed to do, and just executing what we got, you know. It's unfortunate, you know, injuries happen. We lost a couple of guys, but, you know, it's next man up. You know, we got to keep it, you know, where it would be at.
I feel like things changed after Leighton went down.
Yeah, Leighton being one of our key guys, you know, all our starters, you know, whoever's out there, you know, it sucked, but, you know, we got to roll with the punches and just keep going.
You guys were able to get a stop during overtime on defense when your offense was in the game plan.
I don't know that we was going to win, you know, but, you know, it's unfortunate, you know, things happen, pick 6 and we lost.
This game is reminiscent of Green Bay. You have 14-point lead there, here you're up 27-10.
Yeah.
What's happening that this team is getting up
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. You know, we just got to be better. We got to fix it. We got to be better. And, you know, moving forward, we can't let that happen again.
So what's next? You know, Cowboys Nation. Dallas with the biggest challenge of the year coming to town later this week. We're back on the final portion of Cowboys Flashback to talk about how to stop the Philadelphia Eagles.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Reliant, an NRG company. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The loss to Jacksonville certainly still stings. However, the Cowboys will have to have short-term memory as the short week is already underway. The 13-1 Eagles will roll into town Saturday after their own close call. Philadelphia battling the Bears to a 25-20 victory yesterday. And it won't just be the best team in the league the Cowboys will have to battle. The injuries continue to mount on this Dallas roster. Leighton Vander Esch left the game in the first quarter with a neck injury. Dorrance Armstrong spent some time in the locker room with a knee injury as well. Mike McCarthy and the coaching staff will have to do some adjusting this week as well as evaluating the combinations on the offensive line. 3 potential future Hall of Famers working in and out of the rotation yesterday, including Tyron Smith, who made his season debut after missing most of the year with an avulsion fracture. Fellow veteran lineman Zach Martin was frustrated after the game, but knows it's time to turn his attention to Philly.
In every game, you can go back and look at, you know, woulda, shoulda, coulda type plays. At the end of the day, they made one more play than we did at the end of the game, and you know, that's football. And I think the biggest thing is for us to learn from this. You know, watch the tape on the way home, learn from this, and we got to move forward and start getting ready for Philly.
Is this more unexpected for you in some ways, being 27-10 and kind of how the game was unfolding? Is this a little more surprising?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's disappointing late in the season. But again, the most important thing is we've got to learn from this and we got to move forward. Anytime you have a game like this and you sit and linger on it, that's when things start coming up and biting you in the ass. So again, learn from it and get ready for Philly.
Is part of this remembering this feeling?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, no one. I mean, you can feel it in the locker room. Everyone's disappointed, and rightfully so. But again, if you don't learn from situations like that, from this, then what are we doing? We're wasting time, right? So we got to learn from it and move forward.
Were you surprised by the throw on third down, final possession of regulation?
No, I mean, we just got to execute plays better. I mean, that's all it comes down to. We got to, you know, those situations are a lot of times what offensive lines are judged on in those situations that are obvious. The entire stadium knows we're going to run it, and you know, we weren't able to get anything going those first 2 drives. So I wasn't surprised to hear that, and we just got to do a better job executing those situations.
So week 15 is officially in the books, but none bigger than week 16. Stay with us this week on DallasCowboys.com as we count down to kickoff against the Philadelphia Eagles. And as we know, there is plenty to talk about until that game. But that's all the time we have here on Cowboys Flashback. Again, catch us on DallasCowboys.com for all your information as we get ready for Philadelphia. I'm Haley Sutton here at the Star in Frisco. I'll see you next week.